Hey guys, back today. Thanks for joining me for another Creating the Crafty Life's Creative Weekly Wisdom. So today we are going to be taking our dies and making stencils out of them. Now, here's the thing. The dies that I have may not be like I'm making like backgrounds. So if you have a like a snowflake background die, if you have you know, a cloud or whatever. So like I have this right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It might not come out perfectly. But I actually cut this on my silhouette. And it kind of got me thinking about using my dies to make other stencils. Now, I haven't bought that many dies because I have a silhouette and it lets me cut most anything that I want. I love dies, but it's just not been something that I have invested in. However, I was thinking that I wanted to do something a little bit different with a couple Christmas cards. So I was looking through my stash and I was like, let's use these. So let's go ahead and use this one. This is Paper Wishes, and this is the Angel die cut. And I think I got this one from my good friend Kim. So we're going to take this one and you're going to take some acetate. Now it doesn't matter if you like what type of acetate you use. This just is some from my stash that I've made shaker cards with, but you can use the packaging from your stamps or just, you know, any other type of packaging. Okay. So we're going to do this. So pretty much go ahead and put this in. And we'll go ahead and die cut. And it makes terrible noise. Hopefully it didn't shift over too much. We'll run it through a couple more times. I did notice on my other one that it didn't cut the acetate all the way through, and it might just be because of my plates. So here we go. All right, hold on. Let's go ahead and kick it all out. Did a mostly good job. Let's bring in paper. We can kind of dump all the pieces on there. A lot of them are gonna. Okay, so there's that. Get that out of the way. This can, oops. This can go through. We're not going to need this anymore. All right. And I'll just get all those pieces out. Now I've noticed that sometimes the pressure on my plates is not quite even. And so there's some places that don't always cut as thoroughly. Okay. All right. So here we go. Couple more few pieces in there. Okay. Now, depending on how intricate your die cut is, you may want to add some adhesive to the back of your piece, okay? Because as you can see, it's got a very thin border. So if I use it for inking, or if I use it for I'm going to actually do my modeling paste and just stencil it in that way. It is going to definitely go outside the edges, and there's a different look that I'm going for. So, okay. Just making sure all of those pieces are out. I don't want to get into the actual stenciling, and then I'm like, oh wait, that piece didn't come out. Okay, looks like we are good. Let's get rid of those. Now, I am going to use a little bit of this Scotch spray mount. It's light duty adhesive and it is repositionable, okay? So just like if you have like your spray or you have the Zig two-way, you can do the back of your piece. Make sure you're doing it in a well-ventilated area because seriously, this stuff stinks. So let's actually go ahead and we're gonna zoom in just a little bit when we get to that part. Give me just a second. I'm going to spray. It is sprayed. My heat tool is unplugged, so hold on. Now I'm just going to give it a light, and I sprayed the wrong side. Okay, that's something that you do have to watch out for, okay? Because if I put this down, it's going to be backwards, okay? So one thing that can take off that is rubbing alcohol. It'll take off that stick. Okay, so I'm going to leave this in the video because, see, it's not always perfect the first time. There are some trial and error, okay? So you guys just saw how messy I did that. There was no scientificness to it. Okay, now I have to let the alcohol dry. Just give it a little dry. Okay, and then I'm going to grab another towel and then spray the back again. Or we'll spray the back the first. Okay. All right. Now the back is sprayed. And my hands are a little sticky now. Just going to give it a quick hit with the heat. Not too much because I don't want to melt my acetate. I just want to kind of dry the glue down just a little bit. It needs to be tacky, but I don't want to leave any residue on my paper when I put it down. Okay. All right. That should be sufficiently tacky. See if I put it down like that. It sticks and it comes right back up. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and grab some paper. Now this die is 3 3/4 by 4 5/8. So 3 3/4. So we'll cut it. It's going to be at 4 and okay. 3, 4, 5. We'll do 7/8 because I do want a little bit of a border around it. Okay, now we'll go ahead and put this down, and I'm going to try and center it the best I can. There's going to be a little more space on this side because this little star piece sticks out. But I want a white border around it, so it'll work out, okay? All right, now that that's done, you don't have to do this step, but I personally like to set it on there. It's less mess for me when I am doing this. Just make sure all your pieces are down. Go ahead and open up that. You're going to also need a knife to spread with, and you can put this on as thin or as thick as you want. I'm going to go a little bit thicker on this because I don't want the blue showing through. Okay, so it's up to you. How thick or thin? Not too thick, but thick enough. And I find working from inner to outer is helpful. But you've all worked with this stuff, so you just do it the way that it is easiest for you to spread. And then you just kind of go back. And forth. Okay. All right. Now, let's go ahead and reveal the magic. You can do this a couple of different ways. It's whatever you're the most comfortable with. Oops, I just noticed that there's a little, I want it a little thicker on that edge right there. And smoothed it down quite a bit. Okay, all right. Just going to gently, and as cleanly as I possibly can, pull it up. Okay? All right, and then we set this aside to dry, and I have an embossed card front once it's dry. Okay, all right. Obviously then I would want to go ahead and wash this, clean up my area, and I'll be right back with the dried fronts. Okay guys, I am back. They are mostly dry, but you can see the one that we did, there was a little bit of a goober right there on that E. Not the end of the world. I could have pushed it down a little bit better. These are still, even after cleaning, they're still really sticky. In fact, I lost this one for a little bit because it stuck to me. So when you store these, you want to make sure you store them on like acetate. You don't want to obviously store them on paper because they might peel up some stuff. So these are definitely great and reusable. You may have to restick them occasionally, but if you have that spray mount, you're good. Now as far as these go, what I would probably do is I would just cut, mount them on a background. Not necessarily the red. I don't think I have a card here. Here's a regular 8.5 by 11 card that I would probably put some cardstock around, maybe some more navy or gold or something like that. But I would definitely zhuzh them up a little bit, maybe a little bit of baker's twine or ribbon, something simple, because I just want the design to show through. This one right here, I actually did it before I put the adhesive on the back, so you can see there's quite a bit more coming through. You can also ink these. That would be really cool, but I was just thinking like holiday cards, it's a little bit thicker. That kind of thing. So there you go, guys. So different ways that you can use your dies and make a stencil out of them if you really like it. Now just make sure when you guys are doing this that you have one that is a mostly solid. Words don't generally work because the insides come out and there's no way to keep those in. This is a cursive writing or a cursive word, and so this one is working for me, but this is meant to be like a solid piece kind of thing. So there you guys go. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you try it, please, I would love to see what you do with it. If you ink it, if you use the modeling paste, that kind of stuff. So just one more way to get a little bit more out of your crafting projects or your crafting supplies, because I know dies are very expensive. So if you have some background dies, it's a great way to use them. So thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.